Good afternoon and welcome to Newswatch. I'm JP Pantoja. Today we'll take a look at the junior-senior formal, the contemporary art trip to Chicago, and the 2025 Highbridge Film Festival. We'll also have your local sports and weather updates. Juniors and seniors came together for a night of music, dancing, and memories. Reporter Katie Barker tells us more.
Junior-senior formal, a time for students to take a break and dress up to get away from campus for a night, and for some, it's their final dance.
Junior-senior means an opportunity to spend some time with my friends who are going to be gone. Not forever, but chances like this don't come around all that often, so I think it's a really great opportunity to, spend some time with some friends that are saying goodbye.
Junior Senior is a gift from the juniors, the renewed class, to the seniors, the ignited class. This year's theme was Masquerade, held at Limestone Hall in Lexington. Students were provided a mask when they walked in, along with an assortment of food and drinks. The renewed class has been working on this event for several months now, planning food, music, tickets, all for one night. This formal is a time for students to also be with their classmates outside of the busyness from campus.
Spend time with some people that you don't really normally see on campus just because as a senior you're so busy. So I think it's just a great time to reconnect with people that you may not see as frequently.
In Lexington, Katie Barker, Newswatch.
Asbury students are traveling to Chicago this weekend for a contemporary art trip. Reporter Yount tells us more.
What is contemporary art? This is a question held by many, including an Asbury class who plans to travel to Chicago this weekend in search of the answer.
And this is really just to open up our perspective on contemporary art, because a lot of people are confused or don't like contemporary art because it's like just a bunch of dots on canvas and it's like, what does that mean? But then you actually take time and you learn about the artist, and then you find, oh, they're commenting on this, or oh, that's what it actually means, and it just creates such a deep and broader meaning.
This trip is an extension of a semester-long class. At the beginning of this year, students were tasked with picking a certain artist that stuck out to them. At the end of the semester, they will finish by creating a like-minded piece of work that they had a chance to research in Chicago. The group will visit various museums and have a chance to explore the city.
I'm going to spend a lot of my time in the museums because I just love museums and I love looking at different artworks. But others might go to the museum for like the morning and then the afternoon just explore Chicago.
When evaluating art, students are encouraged to look at the technical skills, but also what the artist is trying to communicate.
I think it was cool to talk with art professors about art that you're currently viewing, and then also discuss with other students in your class that are fellow artists, because I guess we're kind of considered contemporary artists as well. But if you learn about what the artist is trying to say and where they are coming from, it really just creates a better emphasis.
Professor Josh Smith will lead the trip, and the group heads out today with plans to arrive back on campus this coming Sunday. I'm Rebecca Yount with Newswatch.
The music department is producing Cinderella this weekend. Reporter Becky Yount is at the site to give us more information. Becca?
Asbury musical staff and students will be performing Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella this weekend. This age-old French tale is played by several familiar faces on campus, including Cinderella, played by both Katrina Kaplish and Chloe Adams. Prince Charming will be played by Donovan Chung, as well as Truman Livingston. I have here with us today Josie Pruitt. Josie, what has been your experience like, and what's your role during Cinderella in this musical?
Yeah, so my role, I kind of play two roles. I'm evil stepmom, and I'm also an ASM for the show. So on the off nights, I kind of do the ASM stuff. But this is my second time actually doing the musical theater ensemble. So I did the Any Dream Will Do compilation of musical themes last time, and now we get to do an actual show. So it's been really amazing. Good group of very talented performers.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck in the performances. Although this is a musical, the performance will have no direct attachment to the Asbury Theater Department. The musical Cinderella is put on completely by the music department through an ensemble that is a one-credit music and acting class. The show will take place this weekend, days stretching from the 4th, which is today, until the 6th. All shows will be held in Jameson Recital Hall. Tickets are available at the door and online at asbury.edu. Prices range from $8 for students and senior citizens and $10 for faculty and staff. $12 will be for general admission. Our performance is taking place as we speak, and then tonight's performance will take place at 7:30. Tomorrow will be at 7:30, and then Saturday as well will be 2 and 7:30 p.m. That's all I have for you, JP. Back to you.
As always, it's a busy week for Asbury sports. Ella Case is here with more updates. Ella, over to you.
Thanks, JP. This past Saturday, men's track and field tied 3rd out of 14 teams in the Landon Bond Classic, and the women took home 5th out of 16 teams. They will both compete in the Center Outdoor Invitational this Friday and Saturday. On Tuesday, men's tennis took home a 6-1 win against Midway University. Both the men's and women's teams are prepping to head to Demorest, Georgia this Saturday to play Piedmont University at 11 a.m. If weather allows, Asbury's baseball team will step up to the plate for a weekend series played at home against the Maryville College Scots. Asbury softball senior day will take place at home this Saturday during a doubleheader at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's all the sports updates I have for you today. Back to you.
The Highbridge Film Festival is just days away, ready to take center stage here at Asbury University with a lineup of inspiring films and industry insights. On Friday, April 11th, a full day of seminars and discussions will feature Hollywood actors Maria and David Barrera, along with award-winning animator Barry Cook. They'll cover topics such as role selection, discernment, and motivation in acting, as well as the evolution of careers in the entertainment industry. On Saturday, April 12th, the Asbury University School of Communication Arts will present the festival, featuring a film showcase and award ceremony, followed by an after-party. Doors at Hughes Auditorium open at 6:30 p.m. with the festival starting at 7. Tickets are still available at highbridgefilmfestival.com. At around 2:15 this morning, Asbury students received a tornado warning, prompting them to seek shelter in the lowest level and an interior room of their apartment or resident halls. The warning was expired at 2:45 a.m., but a tornado watch remained in effect until 7 a.m. While heavy storms passed through the area, the tornado did not hit Wilmore, Kentucky. But for more information, Asbury Newswatch forecaster Katie Barker has the latest in this week's weather. Katie?
Thanks, JP. Looks like we've got a rainy week ahead of us with thunderstorms until early next week. Starting today, we'll see thunderstorms throughout the day with a high of 70 and a low of 64. The thunderstorms will continue throughout the night with a low of 64 degrees. Friday will mostly stay the same with thunderstorms and a high of 70 with a low of 63. Saturday, the storms will continue with a high of 78 and a low of 63. Sunday will bring more thunderstorms but with lower temperatures with a high of 59 and a low of 52. Starting Monday, storms will go away, but temperatures will drop with a high of 50 and a low of 38. On Tuesday, we'll mostly stay the same, though, with a high of 55 and a low of 32. That's all the weather updates I have. Back to you, JP.
Thanks, Katie. In the political world, there's one issue both sides of the aisle seem to support: banning cell phones in schools. Virginia has been one of the states at the forefront of this issue. Governor Glenn Youngkin, a Republican, signed an executive order to establish a phone-free education this year. CNN's Pamela Brown visited a high school in Northern Virginia to hear from teachers, students, and administrators who took part in a pilot program.
Raise your hand if you're a fan of this new phone-free policy at the school.
It's complicated.
This Virginia high school looks like any other during passing periods. But notice one thing's missing.
I remember the first day I was sitting in physics, my phone was locked up in my bag and I kept reaching for it, but I couldn't. And the only thing I can do was sit on my computer and listen.
Wakefield High is a guinea pig of sorts. Students are expected to store their phones in this magnetic locking pouch throughout the day. At first, there was resistance.
People were putting dents and holes in the wall. Like, there are tables we had to like get fixed.
Right after we got them, when I walked into the cafeteria, all you hear is like the bang.
Like it sounded like gunshots.
Greg Cabana, a government teacher at Wakefield, noticed it too.
The fact that they're banging pouches around the cafeteria trying to unlock their phone, this is proving our point right here of how meaningful and how powerful that phone is.
It may be too soon to fully understand the impact of phones on academic performance, especially talking to this group of high-performing students.
I think it depends on who you were before the phone policy.
But other benefits inside the classroom are clear.
Even just picking it up for a small time can take away from your learning experience.
The 2023 Surgeon General's report says up to 95% of kids 13 to 17 use social media. Former Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy even called for tobacco-style warning labels on social media platforms, saying they're associated with significant mental health harms for adolescents.
The data also shows when kids are spending more than 3 hours on average, that they face nearly double the risk, increased risk of depression and anxiety symptoms.
But a recent CDC study found about 50% of teenagers between ages 12 and 17 had 4 or more hours of daily screen time.
Every day. I go straight to my phone when I get home. Don't even think about the homework.
But when he's in the walls of Wakefield, he's opening up in other ways.
It's definitely helpful with social issues for sure, without the phone. Because I feel like I connect with more people and have better conversations than I could have had with the phone.
Student Karen Mine says it's led to a new kind of engagement.
Even just at lunch, you talk to each other, people bring games to class.
You never experienced that kind of engagement?
Well, it was just and maybe not since kindergarten, maybe not since preschool.
And the students and teachers here say less isolation has meant less interpersonal conflict.
There were a lot less fights. I haven't seen any this year.
The movement to restrict cell phones in classrooms is growing, with 9 states having already passed a ban or restricted cell phone use in schools. And 15 states, plus the District of Columbia, have introduced legislation to do the same. But not every educator is on board, including Brandon Cardette Hernandez, a former public school principal in New York.
We have to teach digital literacy skills, kids need to know how to use social media, and by an outright ban of smartphones in schools, we are not getting any closer to teaching those skills. Kids who are already the most vulnerable and the most under-resourced schools, who are already experiencing skill gaps, those are the kids who are going to be the most harmed.
There's also a very real concern about what happens during an emergency.
I know one of the biggest things that people were worried about was if there's a lockdown and there's someone in the school and you need to text your parents, and then all the parents would be going crazy because they can't text their kids, they don't know if they're okay.
Cabana points out that he thinks phones can do more harm than good in those situations.
Misinformation could be put out on phones, incorrect rumors, perhaps panicking when there shouldn't be. That would just be a hindrance to keeping students safe.
A Connecticut college student has created an app that identifies ticks. It aims to give a more accurate idea of what type of tick you've encountered and what diseases it may carry. And it could be handy as the weather's warming up and we all spend more time outside. Mark Sudol reports.
She actually went to the International Science and Engineering Fair, where you would compete against all the different countries.
This Wall of Honor at the King's School in Stamford recognizes some of the achievements of past students, including New Canaan's Antonia Kolb.
She's so smart and so talented, and again, what I did was just facilitate her figuring out her next steps.
Kolb was diagnosed with 2 rare tick-borne infections a few years ago. The King School grad and now college student said she took part in a summer research program, and that's how she eventually developed an app that identifies ticks called Detect It.
By using images and training this neural network, it would figure out, oh, this is a black-legged tick, or this is a Lone Star tick.
You can take a picture of the tick on the app. It will tell you what kind it is, where it's located, the risks, and then links it to the Centers for Disease Control. It's now an important tool that may prevent Lyme disease.
For something that just started as just this passion project thing, I didn't think it would actually have any effect on people's lives.
For her hard work, Kolb has also received the prestigious Princess Diana Award. She actually received a royal letter from Prince William.
What was really rewarding was, being listed among these incredible people from around the world doing insane projects and just really impacting people. And so to be even named within that list was just such an incredible experience.
A couple of years ago, Congressman Jim Himes also picked the Dicticted app as the winner of the Congressional App Challenge for his district.
Well, that's all the news we have for you today. Thank you so much for trusting us with your weekly news. We'll see you soon, Asbury.